There are 3 types of solutions. We have one solution. What would make it have one solution? Like, why is it one solution? One point where it crosses. Then we have 0 solution. What does it mean by having no solutions? Parallel lines. They will never cross. What about the equations make them parallel?
They have the
Same.
They have the same slope but different y-intercept.
Perfect. Same slope, different y-intercepts mean that they will never cross their parallel. And then I have infinite solutions. Why would they be infinite solutions?
They're the same equation.
Same equation on top of the same line. So negative 2x minus 4 is the same thing as y plus 4 equals negative 2x, because if I subtract 4 from both sides, that would give me the same exact equation.
They're just like written in form.
Yes. We need to make sure we know that the difference between one solution is different slopes and different, or it doesn't have to have a different y-intercept, but different slopes. 0 solutions would be the same slope but different y-intercepts. Infinite solutions is the same exact equation. The hard part here is not getting confused when I say solution, not getting that confused with x-intercept. For a linear equation, for systems of linear equations, when it's talking about a solution, it's talking about where they cross.
Well, now that you said that, now I'm gonna get.
Oh, I'm sorry. But for a quadratic, that's talking about the x-intercept. Marco, are you with me, baby? Please, please, please. It's talking about the x-intercept, okay? So looking at this, x plus 2y equals 5, 3x plus 6y equals 15. Using elimination method, I want to solve this. Elimination method is where they would have the same coefficient but opposite signs. How can I make this have the same coefficient but opposite signs? Perfect. I can multiply this top one by 3, but it have to be negative 3 so they can have opposite signs. So when I distribute this negative 3, that gives me negative 3x minus 6y equals negative 15. And you're going to notice something in a minute.
They're all they cancel.
And so I'm going to rewrite this. And when I do that,
They're on top of
when I combine these, negative 3x plus 3x is 0. Negative 6y plus 6y. And then negative 15. Well, does 0 equal 0?
Yes.
So that means this has infinite solutions. Because that's a true statement. 0 does equal 0. And if you graph both of these, you'll notice it's the same exact line. Now, I want to emphasize something, guys. About 75% of your tests can probably be done straight Desmos, if you know how to use it. In test mode, though, you cannot put these in Desmos. It has to be in slope-intercept form. So if you use Desmos, you better know how to change these to slope-intercept form. What do I mean by that? I mean, it needs to say y equals. So what would I do to make this a y equals equation?
Isolate the y value.
All right, so isolate the y value, so minus x. So that would give me 2y equals 5 minus x. And then what?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. And that would give me y equals 5 over 2 minus 1/2 x. Or you really can just put it like y equals 5 minus x all divided by 2, if you know how to. And then you would do the same thing with this one, 3x plus 6y equals 15. Different people, tell me how to change this to y equals, please. Go ahead. Subtract 3x from both sides. That gives me 6y equals 15 minus 3x. And then someone else? Divide by 6, thank you. So that would give me y equals 15 over 6 minus 1/2 x. 15 over 6 would reduce into 5 over 2. So that would be the same thing. Now, why am I taking the time to do this? Because you need to know how to go from standard form to slope-intercept form to put it in Desmos, and you would see that they would be the same equation. Okay, I went really fast. So if you're confused, I need you to speak up for yourself. be the best. I don't know what word I'm looking for. Anyways, yes.
Would there ever be a time where you have to get it from self-learning?
No, you don't. Good question.
You're gonna kill my hearing. You know what else we do?
All right.
Do you want to make?
All right. Q plus D equals 38. 0.25 Q plus 0.10 D equals 6.95. I want to solve this using substitution method. So in order to use substitution method, I would have to isolate a variable.
Let's isolate Q.
Okay, so how would I isolate Q? Subtract D from both sides. So this gives me Q equals 38 minus D. Now that I know that Q equals 38 minus D, what do I do with this?
You put that 38 minus D into where the Q is in the other equation.
Yes, so yes to every single person. Good job. So this would turn this into 0.25 times 38 minus D plus 0.10 D equals 6.95. Say it louder, please. Distribute. So now I'm going to distribute 0.25 to what's in the parentheses. Again, if we're going way too fast for you, please just speak up. I don't want to go too slow, but I want to make sure everyone understands. 0.25 times 38 is 9.5. 0.25 times negative D would be minus 0.25 D. Then plus 0.10 D equals 6.95. Say it louder. Combine like terms. What are my like terms? All right, so negative 0.25 D and positive 0.10 D. When I combine these, what would that give me? Yes, so I got 9.5 minus 0.15 D equals 6.95. Now what? So when I subtract 9.5 from both sides, that'll give me negative 2.55 here. Now what? Yes. Which would give me 17. So D would equal 17. But what if I want to find the other one as well? Well, what if I want to find Q?
Then you
Substitute in for D. So I could go back to the Q equals 38 minus D, and I could substitute 17 in for D. So Q equals 38 minus 17. Q equals, thank you, 21. Okay, I really, really need you to speak up. All of that was like gibberish to you, okay? Because I want to make sure everyone can do this with 100% accuracy. Don't hide away. We got our test is in 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks.
So, Ms. Patterson,
Callie?
how does this help us find, or like, how does this tell us what solution, or how would we know what is the solution for this?
So this kind of question, if it had like variables like this, it's probably asking you, this is about quarters and dimes. So it probably would ask you, well, how many quarters would you need to when these two equations are equal? And so you would be solving for Q, in which that's how you know which one to solve for.
Okay.
It'll tell you what it wants, And that's why you have to make sure you know what each variable represents. Are all my boys still with me? Marco, you with me? Okay, let's read this. It's the last one, and then I'm done. Ricardo has 898 sports cards. Ricardo has 898 sports cards.
My sister has
Okay, there are 15 more than 3 times as many football cards as basketball cards. There are 15 more than 3 times as many football cards as basketball cards. Write a system of equations for football, F, and basketball cards, B. So before we start, the wording is very confusing. I hate these, but we can do it. I want everyone to think, if Ricardo has 898 sports cards, that first sentence right there, I want everyone to write in their mind or on paper, what would that equation be? If I have 898 sports cards in total, between football and basketball cards, I have 898 sport cards in total. I want everyone to think, what equation could you write for that? Everyone just think, I want everyone to do it. Just the first sentence. Ricardo has 898 sports cards. And I know I only have 2 types, football and basketball.
Do all the kids take the same test
Mhm.
at the same time?
Mhm. Well, y'all would start earlier than the middle schoolers.
So when
No, I'm not like y'all would start at 7:35. They would start at 9 o'clock.
no, but when's ours?
May 11th.
Ugh.
Okay. For that first sentence, Aeneas, what would the equation be?
F plus B equals 898.
Absolutely. F plus B equals 898 because I have a total of 898 football and basketball cards. Now here's the sentence that sounds confusing. There are 15 more than 3 times as many football cards as basketball cards.
So there's 3 times more basketball cards. There's 3 times more football cards than basketball cards. Plus 15 plus 3. So there's more football cards by a lot.
Okay, so Alex, say that again.
There's more football cards.
So if there's more football cards, then what would my equation be?
B X or no, B times 3 plus 15 equals 15 times.
Perfect. So F equals 3B plus 15.
Oh.
Because if Alex says there's more football cards, then I know to figure out how many football cards there is, there's 3 times 15 more than 3 times. So it'll be 3B plus 15. Okay, so this one just asks you to write the system. We don't want to solve it. But if we had to solve it, we can use substitution method. Yes.
That's fine.
Okay, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an